Well, g'day trendsetters, welcome to Val di Sole Trentino, a famous track here on the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series. Had a bit of a change this year, a couple of brand new sections, which is bringing more than one rider undone. We're gonna head down now. We've changed the name. This is a detailed look at the downhill track, so welcome to the downhill detail. So this track is quite simple at the top half. There's a bunch of these big, wide open berms before we get to the steeps at the bottom. Now what's really interesting is, as simple as this is, obviously a lot of people pay attention to the steeps and the gnarly sections down low. But up here, we saw last year, Emery Piron made up a bunch of time on Dakota Norton in these upper couple of corners here. These upper couple of corners are really deceptive about how much time there is to be made here straight out the gate. A lot of riders come out of this section and they try and take it easy because they know how physical the bottom half is. Now we saw last year Emery Piron really attack this upper section here, and it can add that extra little second or two as you're fatigued at the bottom. Simple, but a very big section and a crucial section on the timings of this track. Let's get down to the steep stuff now. Okay, we're down into the woods, and this is our first somewhat minor change before the major changes. So a little bit of a reroute. As we come down under the gondola here, we come down into the trees off this rock. Last year, it went right as left. This year, it goes right as right. So a bit of a different rut, bit of a different exit down through here. And as you can see, we go left and then right with a tight little turn before we get to our first major change of the track. So out of the trees, we come into here, our first major change. So as the track used to wind its way around here, now we've got this huge off-camber section. You can see a rut developing down the outside. There's a bit of a sneaky inside line. While there's no one coming, so riders are going to try and sneak up through the inside here, which gives them the great high entrance to the next corner down here. And this is where the first of our major changes starts, down this way. This has always been a key part of this Val di Sole track, and for 2025, it is absolutely no different. Whoa. Whoa. Look at the precision. So it used to come down here, and in 2024, they would peel to the right. Now look, they're going to the left there, and look at the precision over that little jump on the corner. Wow, absolutely cutting it fine straight over the inside there as we head into the woods and a brand new couple of corners. This is such a hectic section. It's only the beginning. We're less than a minute into the first run. As you can see, the first timing split is just there as we head into the trees. We're into the steep and deep now. As we come into the woods, one young man, Damo here. Damo, you've had a big change this year with Kemi coming on board, Yeti Factory team manager, and Richie moving back to downhill. How has that been?
It's been really good. I guess got a good blend of the young kids, learning a little bit from the senior riders. Richie picking up, where he left off quite a bit ago. So kind of get a little bit from Cam, a little bit from the young stuff. Things are going well.
It's not your first time in downhill. Richie raced downhill back in the day. Jared was racing downhill back in the day.
Yeah.
Is there any similarities, or is it a whole brand new game?
I feel like we've been out of it long enough. It's a whole new game. So it's a little bit of a learning year for us. But I feel like where we're at with the riders and everything, we're kind of jumping back in there, kind of taking our approach to it, nice and slow and steady. So yeah, feels going good.
When are we going to see this Yeti downhill bike available?
You can see it every single finals of our elite riders. Yeah, that's when you can see it. Tune in.
So this is the brand new section that they feed just under the gondola here. They come down into the woods. What makes this quite difficult is you go from the bright lights into the trees. It's dark. There's a couple of big double jumps through here. Now this is seemingly fresh for the moment. But as you can see, oh, hear that donk? As you can see, it's already starting to cut up, and there is ghoulies and rocks and roots and holes that are going to start to emerge more and more as this track develops. So this is one brand new section, not an alteration, not a change, just a brand new loamy open bit. Now, if it rains, when it rains, this will get quite affected too. For now, we're looking pretty good. Whoa. From the woods, this is evolving. We just heard from Chandro up there that all these roots, the black snakes of Italy here, are starting to evolve. And look at this big old pocket down here, yuck! You gotta get down into this section, carry some good speed, some good exits. Now that's all duffy, soft dirt, so that's gonna blow out as the weekend goes on. Look how soft that is. Marine, breathing hard already. So there is an inside that's quite smooth, but they want to carry nice exit speed out here. And look at the pocket. It's only day one. Has Marine stopped? Let's get a quick word from Marine. Marine, what are you thinking so far?
Oh, the track is good, but it's already really destroyed.
There's a lot in these new sections. Huh? What are you looking for here? Are you looking for exits, holes? What's changing? Wow.
Yeah, sketchy one. But yeah, I'm looking for. I try to avoid the hole now because after the training of the men, it's like really destroyed. So I try to find some safe line and fast line to keep the speed at the exit. So yeah, just find the good line.
Is that really hard to actually manage when you guys see the track first thing, then the men ride it, then you go and see almost a brand new track?
Yeah, of course, every time it's like a new track because the track changes a lot, so it's not easy to adapt and to find the good line because the line from this morning are not always working on the afternoon, so we try to adapt and find the good solution.
And bike setup, anything different? You've got a bit of a high roller setup here, so you're looking for a bit more grip in the soft, duffy dirt?
Yeah, of course, I try the new DHR3, the high roller 3, because it's a bit higher than the DHR2. This morning I have the DHR2, so maybe it's a good time to try it now because it's super loose and there is a lot of dust.
Thanks, mate.
Pleasure.
You make our way down. Eris, how you going?
Pretty good.
Val de Sol?
Yes, it's a rough one to come back to. Bit of a like a, yeah, deep end, but that's alright.
And a few changes too, huh? What do you
Yeah.
think of the changes so far?
Oh, they're good. Like, it's pretty rough where the new stuff is because it's just like all coming out now after all the elite men have come through. But it's a good challenge and yeah, it's fun.
Now you get to this point, we're just past the bridge, not quite halfway.
Yeah.
What are you feeling at this point, do you think? Is this a point to rest as we come under the lift? Can you get a breath here?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the only place on the track really where you can get a rest. So take a few big ones in and
Carry on.
Keep going.
Great to see you back.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
So as we just heard from Eris, this is pretty much the only section of track you can somewhat rest here. I wouldn't say rest, but it's easier than the super hectic bits. And you get a couple of jumps to maybe let the hands breathe, take a breath, because from here down, it is definitely not chill. So from under the gondola, all of the corners, that's pretty much the same section that we've seen in years past. Now we come through this Oakley section here, and again, this track goes left this time instead of right. So this is the next change that we've seen. So quite a brand new upper section, reasonably similar middle bit under the gondola, but now we see some more changes down here. Now one young fella I always enjoy talking to.
Hey mate.
Hey mate, what are we doing in here today?
Well, you might start to see them come through. Basically, this is one of the lines that is similar to last year, but the entry, you've got a couple of different entry options here. One is wide by that blue pad, and the other is coming nice and tight here. But that's the problem, it pushes you wide. So it's quite hard to stay all the way high. So I think the most consistent line is running it near that pad, and then you run it low, and then it's straight shot all the way down there.
Now, a few new sections of this track, this bit in particular. How are you relaying all this information to so many new bits to all of your riders?
At the
Is
moment,
it sections?
yeah.
Is it timing?
What we're doing is we're doing it sort of section by section, and at the moment we're not so worried about the absolute fastest. We're trying to get a nice consistent flow. I think there's a real risk at Val de Sol where you could be blazing fast in one bit and not know where you're going on the next, and not have that rhythm. So today we're just looking for a nice flow on the track.
And how are you dealing with the patience of this track? It must be difficult when it's just coming at you all the time.
Yeah, exactly that. So with Gracie, we're sort of picking points for her to stop, so she's not getting sucked into doing sort of full runs, because that's really fatiguing. And with the boys, again, like trying to get an outcome from each sector, so they're not just worrying so much about banging out laps. I think here you've got to be precise, because it can bite you, can't it? So we're trying to get through a nice weekend of consistent riding.
So our next new section of the course, he used to come up here, went up to a big banked right-hand corner, and then stepped down through all these rocks here. So now the riders go to the outside, big wide open flat section through the Karcher berms, inside to inside. So I can carry a bit more speed through here. It takes a little bit of risk out of this section, but now you're carrying a lot more speed down this entire bit. So you go from the roots and the loam and the duff straight into this wide open section. You can already see the ruts starting to develop, which are going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. This inside line seems to be the hot tip at the moment. Sasha Ernest in the corner. Then from here we go straight back into the rock steps and into the iconic part of this track. Dude, was that a wheel? Wow. One bit that always amazes me is this. Look at how hectic this looks. So this is just off that rock step at the top. Through those new Motul corners there, we come into this section here. This section's been a part of this track for years, and it is just as gnarly as ever. Look at that. Oh. Asa Vermette. And as we get impressed by that, I've just spotted Tracy Mosley.
Hello.
Hey, mate.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Mega.
What are you doing here?
I'm helping on trackside with the Trek DH team this weekend, so loving being back on this track. It's been a busy day. Lots of change.
You've got some fond memories of this place. What's your fondest memory of Val de Sol?
Probably some big crashes, to be fair. But no, I always love it. I just love that natural kind of track, and I think today it's just a great challenge to the riders because it's changing a lot already after a few hours of practice, really. So it's going to be really cool. Big change up from some of the high speed we've seen, and yeah, it's fun seeing it like firsthand again, and still love it.
Tell us what's one thing you've noticed a huge change from your career racing downhill and the highs and lows, and now in this somewhat new era of downhill World Cup racing?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me today was just the information the riders are now getting from people like myself now trackside. It's insane. Like, the guys had so much video from us before they even put their first wheels on the track, you know, from the girls' practice. So there's so much kind of intel now coming into it that I feel like, yeah, it's just, you haven't got to work it out for yourself in some ways. Now you've got all this input that allows you to kind of, you know, hit the lines perfect from the first run.
And what did you have back in the day?
Just worked it out yourself. That was like between, you know, you and the other riders, really. There was no one trackside. Your mechanic was at the bottom, and that was it. There was not all these people kind of filming and videoing and sending that input back. So
wow.
Quite different. But
would you have liked it? Would you have appreciated that?
Actually, no. I feel like the pressure on them now is so much bigger than it was because they're getting all this info. It's like, well, if you can't get it right with all these people helping, you're not just only letting yourself down, you let everyone else down. So actually, I feel like I enjoyed doing it on my own.
Because it was up to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure here on these guys now,
yeah.
And it's they've got to take their job. They've got to be on it from run one, and there's no hiding. No one can even see if you have everyone sees everything now. There was no hiding if you had a bad run, whereas now it's like every moment you crash or make a mistake, someone's filmed it.
Wow.
So you can't get away with it, but it's exciting.
Does it make you appreciate it, miss it, want it, enjoy it?
I don't miss the pressure that they must be under. I don't miss having to go that fast. But I do look at this track and think, actually, I'd love to get a downer bike out and have a little play, but not to race at that level again. Yeah, I think I still had some pretty cool days, and it's nice to be able to still enjoy it and still be able to enjoy riding my bike, just, you know, in a different perspective now. But yeah, it's fun, and I'm kind of glad I haven't got that pressure on my shoulders anymore.
Well, you know what? It's fantastic to see one of the greatest of all time. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
So one mega high-speed section is here, so it goes super tight. It's very technical, but this Michelin straightaway here is super high speed into a long low left. Another slight change to the original track. So dusty. It's wild how dusty this is. So just after the final timing sector here, slightly new section. We've got a big off camber into another off camber. So this last bit, you might make it through that timing bit, but you've got to get through here. Look at this. Look at the roots that are coming up, how off camber this is. The dust just continues to get deeper and deeper. There's not many other lines here, and this line is pretty little. Look, it's not much more than a tire width off that ledge. And again, so if you miss this entrance here, you come in with too much speed, too much oomph, or you get out wide into this stuff, there's nothing going on. You're over there, you're in no man's land. So you've got to be precise here. You've got to set up early, get into the pocket right in the middle of the corner there to make sure you maintain traction all the way out. So last timing split, final hectic section before you spit out into the trees. Whoa, he says. Look at the dust that kicks up straight away. Two different lines there from Ronan and Pinky. As you can see, Ronan was looking for the high line. Looks like it's changed a lot. So with conditions like this, you can see how much they must evolve. So when they would have seen the track, that was like 3-4 hours ago. Now they're getting up here ready for time training. So all these ruts might be new, they might have moved, they might have evolved. It's changed from when we've been up here for the last hour or so. So these riders haven't seen this track since about 11:30 this morning. So all these ruts would probably be different. This exit through here, this is so small that if one rider pushes out too wide, all of a sudden, it's gone. Well, if you've made it to here, you've survived the Val di Sole track here. We've even got a brand new sign for 2025. All of the favorites, the huge ski jump to finish into the massive, iconic, bold turn all the way to the finish arena. 2025 Val di Sole, what a track. Can't wait to see it on race day. We'll see you trackside.